Last night I died.
What do you mean?
Last night was my birthday.
Correct.
All right. I went to Maxine's. We got into a fight, so I tried to leave. I fell down the stairs. I broke my neck, and I died.
Okay.
Okay. So then, I'm back at the party. I try to leave, fall down the stairs, break my neck again, right? So, I died. It's 4 times.
You were such a difficult teenager.
Where did you guys get the idea for this, and how did you kind of pitch it and find the execution you wanted? Amy?
Well, there's all different layers to it, but very simply, we were talking, Natasha and I had worked on a pilot and then wanted to work together again, and we were talking about the idea of trying to exploit this feeling of having to make choices over and over again, and the kind of the existential dread that comes with that. And that was the shape. And really also, I was really interested in helping facilitate Natasha, because I think she's a giant actor. Natasha and Leslie will be able to kind of fill in all the references, but it was all this idea of how do we make a complex female character that is deciding, how she's supposed to live her life. And it started there, and then gosh, where do we go after that?
I mean, there were so many things that Natasha and Amy had already kind of, talked about and discussed before I came on. But I remember when I came on, the idea was to go to Netflix because of Orange is the New Black. And I had been wanting to work there for a while. And I do remember us talking about, like, how do we make kind of the real ultimate binge show. And when we were working on it, I kept thinking, and probably vocalized this a couple times, like, the real goal would be not just that everyone sits there and watches it all the way through, but that they watch all the way through and then start it again. Because I feel like that's kind of the next, that would be the next place of binge watching, that it becomes more of an album, you know what I mean?
A double binge. A double binge,
that it's more of like an album you listen to than a linear story that you're watching and getting new pieces of information each episode. But at the same time, and Natasha can probably speak to this, like, in the writer's room, we did really stick to, the classic structure of a television show, meaning, like, there were 3 acts. Each episode we knew we had to up the ante, and all that stuff.
Yeah, although I do think, it's funny. I guess it's become a bit silly now. I guess people have said it too often, this idea of, the movie version of a TV show. I think it's become sort of verboten to speak about your show in that way. Back when we made this thing in the 90s, I think really, Leslie and I think when we were talking forever about this show, Amy and I, we were always sort of speaking about it in terms of sort of cinematic characters more than TV or even literary figures. So whether it was a No Exit or it was, Elliot Gould's portrayal of Philip Marlowe in The Long Goodbye, whatever it was, or it was Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains, it always kind of had, we were for some reason speaking about it in the language of movies. So not to say that I think we were trying to make a movie, but that we knew that we wanted the overall arc of these 8 episodes to really kind of have a crescendo and a sort of a finish that would, land in that way emotionally. So, Leslie and I spent so much time in that edit and watching it, as we would slowly shape it and kind of, chisel away. Yeah, it was heavy.
That's something worth talking about too, is that we didn't edit it, the way that below the line works for television shows is that you have 2 editors for the whole season and they switch episodes. So one is by Todd Downing, the second one is by Laura Weinberg, and then they switch back and forth. But us knowing that we were making a Netflix show, Natasha and I would sit in the edit and really craft it by kind of, I guess, act or section, and so we would all sit there together with both editors and kind of talk about and collaborate from a point of 1 through 3 gives you one feeling, but if you watch 2 through 6, like, how do you feel then? And then eventually kind of getting to a point where you can sit and watch the whole thing and really experience it as one exciting binge. And I also think that, like, usually you don't get the freedom to do that, and that's something that Netflix really kind of let us do, was kind of like, hey, let us take the time to kind of look at these in that way, as opposed to just, churning out the episodes, turning them in, getting notes, sending them back. It's like they gave us a little bit more of, like, I would say, artistic freedom. Or does that sound kind of douchey?
No. You're speaking to the hippie in me, Leslie.
Yeah?
And I'm grateful.
Okay, good.